Hey, yo, what is going on, guys? We're just having a good day today. We're just chilling today. We haven't streamed in probably, it's been a while. It's been weeks, to be honest, how we did a one-on-one stream with each other for a bit, but obviously a lot going on with this team, and hopefully everybody's over the Super Bowl, and I understand if people are not. You know what I mean? But when it comes down to it, we have a lot of free agents on the defensive side of the ball, and Howie Roseman is not going to be able to sign everybody. That's just the truth to it. But very much looking into what the Eagles have done in the combine so far, and then we'll look at the unofficial visits after the combine, who they bring in. Don't believe the hype, because a lot of it's smokescreen. A lot of it's going to think we're doing something when we're doing something else. The Eagles really haven't freed any money besides the I think the Kelsey restructure, which was like $2.4 million. So really, at the end of the day, the Eagles have like $8 to $9 million under the cap right now, which really isn't that much. So we just gotta be patient. This is just an early process right now. We still got free agency in a few weeks. We still got, we'll be streaming every day for that, to see if, what the Eagles are going to do here. Who are the Eagles actually going to re-sign? I mean, we're hoping that Chauncey Gardner-Johnson gets either that tag or tries to get that long-term deal done. From what we're hearing right now is that it's going to be a high priority for the Eagles to re-sign Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. I think that's really important, since the guy can play two positions, a guy that you really can't let go of. And honestly, other than that, I don't think they're re-signing anybody else on this defense. I don't see it. I think Edwards is gone. I think White's gone. I think our defensive line's taking a major hit right now. I think Hargrave's gone. I think Fletcher Cox is gone. I think Graham is probably the only one that I could see coming back, because there was already reports the other day that he wants to come back for another 2 years with the Eagles, and they may want to work something out with him. But it's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough. Howie Roseman has his work cut out for him, and Sean Desai as a new defensive coordinator is going to be interesting too. This is a guy that in 21 that actually was a defensive quality guy under Fangio for a few years with the Bears, and then became the coordinator over there in 21 with less talent, and still was a top 10 defense that year, but he takes chances and he is aggressive. It just pisses me off so much on the amount of talent this team had defensively, and these players have been bailing out Gannon all year, and you get to that big game and just totally choke, just totally shit the bed. And it was really hard to watch. Still at this time, it's really tough to get through it, so it is what it is. But I want to thank everybody for coming to the stream today. We got Sean Fitzpatrick, we got William Pays, what's going on, dude? Myron, we got God Dog of Vice, Bleeding Kelly Green, what's going on, dude? What's going on, man? We got Robert Jones in the building. We got Freddie Lemus, what's going on, dude? We got Myron, we got Mayor Slam, what's going on, dude? Reb says, what up, Joey? What's going on, dude? What's going on, man? Hope everyone's having a good day today. Derek says, I'm confident Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is staying. Yeah, I feel like it's going to happen. Jay says, you and Phil Garner should do some mock draft streams as it gets. No, we will. We have a lot of stuff. We were actually supposed to stream the other day, but our schedules just didn't match up. We were supposed to stream during the first day of the combine yesterday. We didn't get a chance to do that. I know we haven't, we haven't done a shakedown in a bit, so there'll be a lot more content from us. There's no doubt about it. George said the Eagles will 99% take a lineman first pick. You're talking offensive line and defensive line, so you're adding in an offensive lineman. I mean, I don't know what they're doing. I really don't. I really like these cornerbacks. I like Witherspoon a lot. I like Gonzalez a lot. Keely Ringo. I like him as my third as of right now. I mean, the corner class, you have 16 cornerbacks in this draft that are graded 4th round grade or higher, which is pretty good. Bradbury's leaving. Slay's only here for one more year. And I think Maddox is a free agent after this year. You're going to have more free agents, key free agents leaving after this year as well. So, they got to stabilize some of these positions, and we got to see what they're doing. So The Raptor says, right, and when all those contracts walk, that will free up a ton. Well, necessarily it won't. Necessarily not every contract, because if a player is officially done with their contract, they're not getting any cap back for it. So it depends. If they look, they could save $32 million. The Eagles could be $32 million under the cap right now if they restructure Lane Johnson and Big Play Slay. If they do both of those contracts, they could free up $32 million, which would be great. And $32 million isn't really a lot, but you have some maneuverability to do some depth signings, or there might be some players that really want to play here free agency wise. I'm not saying the Eagles are going to make some big spectacular move, but look out for Howie Roseman trying to make trades and trying to get things done. The Eagles don't have mid-round picks right now. They have no 4th, 5th, 6th rounders right now. Nothing. You have some 7th rounders that haven't been disclosed yet because of the compensatory picks and some of the other things that are going on. So we don't know where those 7th round picks are, but the Eagles have no mid-round picks right now. That's one of the biggest problems. But I don't really care. The Eagles have 2 first rounders and a 2nd rounder. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Blue Sea Empire Sports, what's going on? It says, hey, Joey, I have a question. Do you think A.J. Brown is being too sensitive to Juju Smith-Schuster, and should A.J. just not respond to what Juju is saying? I think it's a little bit of both, but it's the offseason, so it really doesn't matter. I don't know. If Juju has a ring on his finger from the Super Bowl already, and I don't know, he kind of started it. Juju's just like a TikTok nerd, and I just don't respect guys that want to make jokes on the whole entire team. And you won the Super Bowl. I don't know what else you need to do to, you have to bury your opponent and bury some of these players and talk crap about these players. But obviously AJ Brown ain't taking nothing from him. So I don't really make a big deal about it. It's just crap talking at the end of the day. So, sensitive, no, but if Juju starts something where he's making videos on all these players and he's got a ring on his finger, and not to think that, Juju Smith-Schuster is a great player, because I honestly think he benefits from what, I think he 100% benefits from what Casey gave him offensively and having a quarterback that, that he's got with him. So, it is what it is with that. It is what it is. We got Philly Big Dog 68. What's going on, dude? God Dog Advice. Sorry, I can't talk today. Says, I trade down and pick a cornerback first, probably around 15. Yeah, they could. There'll be a lot of at 10. You'll have the pick of the litter. I think. I don't know how many corners are really going in the top 10. I really don't see much. But there's a lot of guys available. Like Witherspoon is probably my favorite one because he plays real big. I think him and Keely Ringo, I think, are the top 2 guys, most physical corners that you're going to see. I really do like Joey Porter's really good. Gonzalez is. I want to see his testing today too. I think Gonzalez is going to be really good from Oregon. I think he's one of the most twitchy, very twitchy, quick, short space. Could move around the field. I think he's got a lot of versatility that I think the NFL is going to really extract from him, whatever team he goes on. But just think about it, guys. Like the Eagles are the best team in the top 10. Because really, when you have a top 10 pick, like you're necessarily not a great team going to the draft. You're a rebuilding team, or you're a team that needs a lot of pieces. The Eagles, have a lot of pieces right now, offensively for sure, because really all you're losing offensively is Isaac Samala's walking in free agency. So hopefully if Kelsey stays at center, Cam Jurgens moves to that right guard spot. Miles Sanders walking is just, it is what it is. I don't see them putting money into that position. If they like Kenny G that much, that's perfectly fine. The good thing about it is Kenny G has a lot of starting experience, so that's great. But they definitely need to add another body to running back. I don't know if they're bringing Boston Scott back, as he's a free agent as of right now. So there's a lot going on with that. So Killer Ghost 10 says, how Joe, how's it going? BG 2-year $10 million. Would you do it? What do you see for Chauncey Gardner-Johnson? 4-year 65, 45 guaranteed? I don't even know what the number is for what is the market for safeties right now. He wants to be the highest paid safety. I don't even know the top numbers for it. They have to sign him as early as possible. We already have to worry about this Jalen Hurts contract that he needs to be signed as soon as possible too, before these other quarterbacks like Daniel Jones and some of these other guys get their deals, because they wait any longer. And look, I mean, I don't think Hurts is going to take less money. It is what it is. It's a business. This is where they get their fortune. These players get their fortunes off of these rookie deals, and they want to get this thing done. So get it done as fast as possible. BG for 2 years, $10 million. I mean, that's not horrible. I think it's definitely affordable, because if the Eagles do some different things, in the top 10, if they want to draft, if Jalen Carter is there, or, if the whole Jalen Carter issue, what's going on with him, if that clears up, and maybe that helps the Eagles grab him, and if they really do want him, they could do that. Will Anderson actually didn't really have any great testing. His 40 time wasn't great from what I'm hearing. But I'm not basing everything off of a 40 time. I just can't, because I just can't. Like, the 40 time is great to see. Like, some guys just have bad combines. Will Anderson, I'm sorry, just has way too much talent to say, oh, he had a bad 40 time. Apparently it was pretty bad. Everyone's been talking about it today. So I'm not making a big deal about it. So, yo, John, what's going on, man? Sean, what's going on, dude? I hope everyone's having a good day. I'm going to move down the chat a little bit because I know I'm going to be behind a little bit. So we got Cement Taco 808. What's going on, dude? Robert says, Joey, at 10, which cornerback would fit us better? As of right now, like, I think I really like Gonzalez because of his versatility and how fast he is, short area quickness. But I do like Witherspoon a lot too, because he plays real big. I think the only issue that Witherspoon has had is I guess the top of routes for receivers on kind of closing down, on those real speedy guys. But interesting enough, they had Garrett. They interviewed Garrett Williams as well, and he had a torn ACL last year from Syracuse. He's more of a nickel type guy, where he could be a nice, he could be a backup nickel this year, or he could, be a starter by next year. So who knows? But I do like Witherspoon and Gonzalez a lot. Keely Ringo is definitely my third option as of right now. I do like him. Forbes, another one. There's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of bodies, but I think between Witherspoon and Gonzalez, I think both of those guys would fit very well. Being with Slay for 1 year, if they don't extend him, they can learn a lot. And, depending on the future of Darius Slay, where he's going to go, it's going to be really interesting. But it's hard for me, man, because, like, we got to see what they do in free agency first, because the defensive line is too empty right now. You're losing 4 or 5 defensive linemen. You're losing Sue, you're losing Joseph, you're losing Hargrave, you're losing Cox, you're losing Graham. That's 5 guys. You're down to Sweat, you're down to Milton Williams. You're down to just a few guys. Robert Quinn's gone, so that's 6. That's 6 guys, 6 defensive linemen you're losing in 1 year, and it's kind of a little bit of an eye opener that the Eagles have to do something else. So we'll see. We'll see. Ryan, what's going on, dude? He says, what do you feel about the Philadelphia Eagles have interest in Bobby Wagner? I think it might make sense. Wagner's old. But he was actually top 10 last year in tackles for loss, one of the top 10 players last year. So still a smart player for his age. Can he stay healthy, this season? And yeah, pair up Nakobe Dean with a savvy vet is, a great idea in my opinion. They could do that. I would see them. They're definitely going to draft another linebacker this year, most likely, because, or they might try to add some like real cheap free agents around Nakobe Dean. They might just do that. Nakobe Dean's your middle linebacker. He's your field general. We're getting into that era of Nakobe Dean now, and all the times where Nakobe Dean's been playing special teams the whole year and been kind of being a sponge in that room with Nick Rallis. And, it's going to be fun, man, to see a lot of people are kind of worried that Nakobe Dean might be a total bust. And I don't know why. And people ask me why didn't they start him this past year? He just had way too much in front of him. And Nakobe Dean, drafted in the 3rd round, is going to have a huge chip on his shoulder, is going to be pissed off, is going to play out of his mind. And I totally see it. It's going to be a steal. Like, I have a good feeling about Nakobe Dean. You have Davion Taylor still there as well, and I think he ended up getting hurt again this past offseason, so he stayed on practice squad. And Davion Taylor played really good in 21, paired up with TJ Edwards, but then he had the knee injury, and then he didn't come back the rest of the year, so it was kind of nuts. Yo, Dag, what's going on, dude? I hope you're having a good day, man. Scorch says, I'm hoping we can keep some of the same players if we do this and get some good drafts here. We can make it again. Yeah, I mean, Howie Roseman did mention that, Howie Roseman's got the final say into everything, but this is going to be the third draft where, the past couple drafts have been pretty damn good. This one here is really important because you're losing so many players. Defensively, I'm not even worried about the offense. I'm not worried about, I think Kelsey's going to stay. I think Cam Jurgens hits that right guard spot, immediate impact. You might find your future right guard, and then you have to draft another center of the future because Dickerson was supposed to be our center. And then they draft Cam Jurgens, and he redshirted. You got to play Cam Jurgens this year. You can't sit him this year. It's got to happen. Howie Rosen's got another, it's probably going to be one of the tougher years because you're losing so many players. So, Weezy said, Dread Eagle, what's going on? Weezy says, what do you think about Joey Porter? Joey Porter's good, man. He's obviously a big corner. His speed is really good, and I think he has to complement what these receivers could do, so he might play off coverage because I don't know in press coverage if he's going to play that well, but Porter gives himself enough space where he studies these receivers that he's facing every single week, and like I said, I wouldn't mind drafting him at all, but can he cover, future number ones in the NFL? I don't know. But we'll just have to see. Like I said, there's a lot on the list right now. There's a lot of guys out there, and I'm really excited. Like, I try to watch these guys during the year as much as I possibly can, and sometimes I can't because between having two jobs and watching Eagles football on Sunday and having a schedule on the weekend, it's really tough for me to watch everything. So I'm going, in as much as possible. And just giving my opinion about it, whether it's right or wrong. So, Logan, what's going on, Logan? George says it could be if it could be someone falls that they don't expect and grab him. No idea who, though. Somebody is going to fall. It's going to happen. Obviously, this matters on how many quarterbacks get taken in the first round, especially right in the beginning of the draft. Every team that picks a quarterback. I mean, I'm trying to figure out. I think you could have 3 quarterbacks taken, 3 to 4. It just depends on one other team that I'm kind of thinking about. There are definitely a few other options out there. And every time somebody picks a quarterback, it's going to help the Eagles tremendously. I mean, this pick should have been a lot higher, in my opinion, because of some of these games with the Saints they got really lucky on this year. But yeah, should be cool. Stoney said, I get the feeling that they're taking secondary with the second pick. They probably going big man with the 10th spot. That's how I feel. I feel like they're going defensive lineman with the first pick. It's just realistic to me because you got to take care of the trenches first. You're losing 6 defensive linemen in free agency. 6. If Brandon Graham doesn't come back, and Barnett's still here, and he's got to go. I'm sorry, but Barnett has got to go. They don't lose any money if they release him this year. Like, they should just flat out release him something. I don't know. Barnett coming back, I've given up. Like, I even forgot during the year he was even still on the roster. So, it gets kind of crazy. We say we need to sign someone that I know. We need to at least get Gardner Johnson signed. Yeah, that's the number one thing. Besides the Jalen Hurts contract, Gardner Johnson needs to get signed. Jordan said, if there is a run on QBs, we'll go offensive line or cornerback. If there's a run on DL, we'll go cornerback. So we're going to go. So you're pretty much saying we're going to go how the board goes. If the board falls where there are too many cornerbacks getting taken, we're going defensive line. If too many defensive linemen are getting taken, we're taking corner. So I totally get it. God said, can't go wrong with either Porter, Gonzalez, Witherspoon, all 3 franchise corners. I totally agree, man. Totally agree. I love all those guys. I've been studying them a lot. Like I said, I'm trying to look at every position. Like, I probably won't look at linebackers as much, won't look at quarterbacks as much. Certain positions I just won't look for it much. Definitely safety is one to definitely watch out for because I think the Eagles have already had meetings with a few safeties already. So should be interesting. Reb says, Joey, what do you think of Kyron Johnson starting at left end? And with Graham comes back to him fresh, Kyron reminds me of BG, little size, quick, lot pushback. Your thoughts? Yeah, I really like Kyron Johnson from Kansas a lot. I thought he had a lot of pushback. I thought the Senior Bowl practices, like the drills, he was taking on guys that were 3 times bigger than he was. They had him at a outside linebacker this year. He ended up getting hurt. He ran like a 4.3. I mean, he's real quick. I just think he's a little bit undersized to be a defensive end right now. But I'm expecting, maybe another offseason, maybe he can. I'm looking for guys that, that could be as good as Josh Sweat, but maybe not as great, but could be really good as a rotational ends. But Kyron Johnson, I was a big fan of him coming out of the draft, and I know he was going to be a little bit of a project because he's undersized as an end. I think he needs to get a little bit bigger. And when you're undersized as an end, you got to, it's all about, you have to work on your technique, and technique. If you don't have the size, technique is going to beat all. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Cal says Juju don't respect the game. I totally agree. I don't like guys like that. Stony Hawk says, I would drop back right in front of the Commanders because NFC East teams all need the same spots filled. I mean, Cowboys are looking at the same players. They're looking at some of the same players we've been looking at too. So, Blue said, Joe, don't be surprised if Chicago Bears draft that running back named Robinson the first while picking the draft. The first overall pick, I don't know about that. I honestly don't know about that. I've a running back going first overall, and I think they're going to. They're trading that pick, aren't they? I mean, they're trading back that pick anyway. I don't see them picking anyway. I think they're trying to. There's already been news that they're trying to trade back that pick. I'm not guys. I'm not a fan of drafting a running back at 10. I'm just not when I see when I see some of these running backs, I absolutely love them a lot. Trust me, but I have no faith in our offense. Just doesn't. There's a lot of running back free agents right now. Some guys that really aren't going to get paid that much. There's trade options. There's a lot of guys available. I mean, I just don't think getting a running back of the future. I don't think there'll ever be a running back of the future of this team because I just don't think they value that position. It's an expendable position because when you build your offensive line the way you're building it, you're not paying running backs money like that. Bijan Robinson, I would absolutely love it, but I think it would just be a waste in some aspects. You got to take advantage of your offense. Look, here's the thing. If your defense is going to not be great this year because you're going to be losing, you're not going to have much depth, or you're not going to be able to, Howie Roseman can only do so much in 1 year. And your cap can only take you so far as well. But, Howie Roseman's very good on his trades, and he likes to be different and stay aggressive. If one option's not there, he goes with another option. He stays on it. He doesn't give up on certain things. What I could see is you have to put as much talent to your offense this year as possible. So if you have Sean Desai as your defensive coordinator and you're trying to, he took a Bears defense in 21 that barely even had the talent the Eagles had on defense this past year, still a top 10 defense that year, but took chances on being more aggressive. And when you don't have the best corners and you don't have, the best pass rush, Desai is really good. Okay. Desai is really good at, staying consistent with aggressiveness when he has to do it. And that's what I wanted from Gannon this year. Unfortunately, we didn't get it. We got to 14 wins this year with this defense, but when it mattered the most, it just choked up. So if you're going to add a Dalvin Cook to your offense, do it. Howie Roseman loves to trade for players that have one more year left on their deals. Dalvin Cook, DeAndre Swift is an interesting one, and he got hurt on top of it last year. DeAndre Swift, healthy at 100%, is a Pro Bowl player. You know what I mean? You got a lot of trade options and some free agent options. I would honestly try and if they were able to get a DeAndre Swift or something like that, I would love it. I give them a 1-2 year deal where the Eagles will not, they won't get hurt by the money at all. Sign him to a 2-year deal. Let him prove himself. It looks like they're moving on. So the draft a running back in the top 10, I think it's just a waste for our situation. Not putting any of these running backs down, like with Bijan being a good player that he is. Like I'm not putting any of them down. But from what we need right now, our defense really, I mean, from what they did the first day of the combine, it was literally all defense, a couple offensive linemen, and that was pretty much it. And they looked at some corners too. So you got to put a lot of firepower in your offense while you have the chance. If Kelsey comes back, your offensive line's still intact with Cam Jurgens going to be a beast at right guard. You're down with Gainwell and whoever else they sign. They need to sign a savvy vet, somebody that's been in the league, trade for somebody, rent a running back for the next couple years if you have to. I just don't see it any other way. I don't see them getting a running back top 10. I just can't see it. I can't see them moving up for it. So we'll see. Brent said the Bears like run the running backs. They like Herbert. For us, Bijan Robinson has generation. Yeah, I understand that, dude. But it comes down to what we really need. Like a running back is not the most important thing for this team right now. It's not. You could literally, I'm not saying you could plug in any running back and they're successful, but just imagine like getting somebody that's already in the league already. You might have to just fill that spot from what's available via trade or something, because you have an extra second round pick for next year too. You got two in the 24 draft. You have 2 second round picks on top of it. So you got some extra draft compensation as well. Cody Cordero says, love Bijan, but I just can't convince myself to draft him at 10, at 30 yet. Yeah, at 30 is perfectly fine, but at 10, I just can't do it. I can't do it. If you want to load up on your offense, it's fine. Like, yeah, getting Bijan will be a good thing because, number one, then you're good at running back for 4 to 5 years if you want to pick up his 5th-year option. You know what I mean? So you're guaranteed to have him in the building for 4 years with a 5th-year option. But the other flip of the coin is that's one less guy you get on your defense for the future, where you could get a Jalen Carter, where you could get, Will Anderson. Like, you can miss out on all these cornerbacks that are literally going to be right on your lap by that time. And that's what is, that's what's kind of confusing to me, So it's not confusing, but it's you can't pass up on what's going to be in the trenches this year, or for your secondary. You know what I mean? Mazda super deep running back draft, great value in the 3rd and 4th. Yeah, like I'm telling you, like it's running backs real deep this year. Even what's his face said, yeah, I think when it comes to defensive end, tight end, running back, those 3 positions, like no one has seen a class like this in over 10 years. Like that's how deep this class is. So it's going to be interesting. Brand says Philly should consider taking a quarterback in the 2nd or 3rd round. Hurts carried the ball 200 times last year. Got hurt. They'll have 2 first-round picks. All right, look, they're not taking a quarterback early. That's not going to happen. They'll have interest there. I think they've already shown interest in a quarterback already, but he won't be taken to the late rounds regardless. But Hurts didn't get hurt because of himself. Hurts got hurt because of Shane Steichen overusing Hurts on these run plays. That Bears game, they overused Hurts way too much in that game. Way too much. It was just way too much. Almost got him killed, pretty much. I mean, that's what happened. George says, bold prediction, Eagles will have 3 first. I don't know, but Howie will pull it off. That would be fantastic. I would love it. Rip says, grab Carter at 10. Hopefully, Porter Gonzalez at 30. Select around, grab it. Yeah, B-Rob. Yeah, I think if they want to take a chance, if they really want to take a chance at Carter, I know the Eagles like giving guys second chances. Like, I get it. We don't really know all the information from what was going on with the reckless driving incident from Jalen Carter, but Jalen Carter is the best defensive tackle in this draft. And to pair him up next to Jordan Davis, yeah, you got to get somebody that's going to pair well next to Davis. You got to do it. And Carter, one-on-ones, it's unfair. It's almost unfair at this point. And if you could do that and then go get a corner at 30, it would be great. If somebody is gonna drop down, and the Eagles, and I'm not saying the Eagles are gonna stay at 30 either. They could move up a little bit too. You know what I mean? So the Eagles have a 2nd round pick as well. So they should have 3 immediate impacts. They should fill 3 spots on defense easy. in this draft if it's that deep. And look, if you want to go for a running back into the third, fourth round, if that's what you want to do, if the Eagles get those picks back, the mid-round pick back, I'd be totally fine with it. I have no problem with it at all. Rylan says, what's good, Shakes? Good to see you on stream. I know it's been a while. It has been a while. We do have actually, no, forget it. I thought I had something on here. I guess it wasn't working at the time. But yeah, we're here to talk everything, just to get your take on everything, guys. This isn't about me. It's about you guys as well, because we're going through this whole process together. And really exciting. There's 189 people in the chat. Appreciate being here just to talk about the draft in general and everything else. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel. Check out the pinned comment as well. We've been doing draft highlight reactions, kind of just reacting to highlights and talking about players. We already have, I think, 4 or 5 of those videos out. Every day we're putting those videos out, so definitely click the link in the pinned comment. Any tier doesn't matter, and you can watch all those videos as well. We pretty much do that all the time. So it's been a lot of fun going over all these players. We'll have more today as well. So should be cool. Monta's highest paid running back, Cook, McCaffrey, and Elliott. Vikings looking to trade Cook. McCaffrey always injured, got traded. Elliott is done. Pollard better. Don't overvalue running backs. Not worth it. No, I think they can get somebody for cheap. And look, if DeAndre Swift is probably one guy I could see that the Eagles can make a trade with. I just see it. Dalvin Cook, I'm not really sure about, but between all of the running back free agents that are around, and I don't know, I'm not trying to, obviously, if you're letting Miles Sanders go, you're not trying to pay somebody else that's higher. Josh Jacobs, I don't know why people mention his name. He's got better statistics than Miles Sanders does. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen. You have to trade for a guy that's either dealt with injury, or trade for a guy that needs to have like a mental prove it year going into this season. And I think DeAndre Swift would be perfect for the Eagles. He just has to stay healthy. That's all. That's all it is. You know what I mean? Jez goes, we need a corner of the future. Slay won't be here long. No, I think Slay's gone after this year. Slay's here for one more year, and that's it. He's here for one more year, and then he's done. And then Maddox is a free agent. I think Maddox is a free agent after this year. I could be wrong, but I think he is. You know what I mean? So your secondary, how much trust do you have in Zach McPherson and Josh Jobe and Mario Goodrich? Are these just special teams guys? Like, they gave Mario Goodrich like most of the undrafted money. He was the highest paid undrafted guy on our team last year. And, and usually when you see that, you see that maybe there's something there with him, that the Eagles really see something with him, but nothing has transpired with those players at all. I think Josh Jobe, I think they need to make some transitions, some of these guys, from corner to safety a little bit. But should be interesting. As of right now, Eagles have 2 first-round picks, a second, a third, and 2 sevenths. Howie is going to make a move to get a mid-round pick. Yeah, I do too. I don't think the Eagles are. I think they will have some 4th and 5th round picks. Moves will happen. Like I said, it's a very early process right now. But should be interesting. Bronze, hey Joey, what about taking a tight end at the bottom of the 1st or the 2nd? Yeah, I mean, look, they can always upgrade at tight end. I think they could find a tight end even. I think they can find a tight end down the road, even probably in the 3rd and 4th rounds. That's pretty good. Calcaterra, Tyree Jackson's probably done. The guy's always getting hurt at this point. More of a project, but was a freakish athlete, but just there's nothing much taken. I really like Josh Stahl and Jack Stahl and Calcaterra a lot. I think they showed a lot, especially when Goddard got hurt. They really started utilizing them a little bit more. Stahl started getting more reception, started getting more catches. And Calcaterra is pretty quick. Calcaterra has actually become a really nice balanced tight end for us. He has speed. His catching ability is really good, and his blocking I didn't think his blocking was going to be good, but man, he blocked really well this year. So I think they can always upgrade, but I like Stahl and I like Calcaterra a lot. I like both of those guys a lot. I think it's going to be a good competition for that tight end room. And if they want to give more competition out of this draft, they could do that as well. Xavier says it's like scary to see, trying to figure out what's going to happen. I think deep down we always prepared for a Super Bowl win, and then coming into this, things seem a little odd. Yeah. I'm not over that Super Bowl as much as we're talking about the draft. I'm not over it. I never will be over it, because the more news that comes out, that the field was watered and just stupid crap. Like, I saw the guy that's in charge of like the fields of the NFL came out. There's not some 90-something-year-old man came out and was like, yeah, they overwatered the fields. Like, I'd never heard of this crap in my, like, I've never heard of that in my life. You know, like, that's what pisses me off. Like, when you hear when you hear guys from your team that never complain, for some reason, Casey really didn't complain about anything, but the Eagles, you saw a pile of cleats that were this high on the sideline. Hassan Reddick doesn't complain about anything, but when he says that's the worst field he's ever played on, and yes, I blame this defense for losing the game, but like, the outside factors, the Eagles couldn't get a pass rush in that game. They were slipping every play. It's just what it is. People are going to call me a baby. People are going to call me and say that I can't get over it. No, I can't. I thought it was BS. I'm still not over that. I'm still not over that. Nah, not over that at all. But it is what it is. We lost. So, you know, it felt like that game. It felt like we should have won that game. And then got into this offseason the way it did. So I totally get it. You know, I totally get you. Mazda Eagles are definitely staying at 10. They definitely trading 30. They're not parting two. No, definitely not. If they're doing anything, they're moving up in this draft. If they're doing anything, if Carter might even get to 6 to 8 or Will Anderson at that point, I think the Eagles got to move up a couple of spots. I don't even think they'll sit at 10. I think they'll move up between 6 to 8 if they really have to. You know, Ascendel says, bro, can people show up about Bijan, DBDTD? Hell, even linebacker are way bigger needs. They're going to be first talent running back. Yeah, like that's what I'm saying, dude. Like, if you want a running back, go trade for one. Go get one. There's plenty of them out. There's a lot of them that don't need that aren't going to get paid a lot of money. There's some coming off an injury. Like, you got to take advantage of the situations. You know, like, if you're going to trade, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you got to take advantage. I'm not saying you're going to trade for Dalvin Cook. You could, but when it comes down to it, like, guys like DeAndre Swift that had a little injury, he was out for a few games last year, you know, put up good numbers still, but you got to take a chance on a player like that to go in the top 10 and get a running back. It's a waste. It's not a waste as like because of the talent. It's a waste because of the situation we're in. That's where it's going to be a waste, you know. Chris said, no chance in hell Eagles take Ryan. No, there's no way. PA says, what do you think of the players that Eagles interview? I don't know who they're interviewing today. Yesterday with some of the guys, I liked the Garrett Williams cornerback from Syracuse a lot. I know they interviewed, let me see here. I'm just bringing up my thing real quick. I want to check the numbers out on. I want to check the numbers quick. Hold on. Is it gone? Yeah, so the update from yesterday, so it was Isaiah Foskey. So they're looking for, I can see they're definitely looking at a lot of defensive ends. They're looking at Isaiah Foskey at Notre Dame. They have Brand Joseph, safety from Notre Dame. Antonio Johnson is an interesting one at safety from Texas A&M. We got Byron Young, edge from Tennessee. Osiris Torrance from Florida. You got Gervin Dexter Sr. from Florida. Byron Young from, I don't know, they have Byron Young twice here. Is there two Byron Youngs, one from Alabama, one from Tennessee? So that was your you know, the picks, you know, the meetings from yesterday. So it was a good list. Like, look, it's very early, like I said. So, yo, who that do? What's going on, dude? Flying High says Eagles will move, still picking 11 to 15, but not staying at 10. How are we going to build up draft picks? And I think so. We'll see. Yeah, and they could trade back at 10 as well if they feel like they can get more picks and there's a player there that they're going to get regardless and get picks at the same time. So we'll see. We got Phantom Media says, with the compensatory picks we'll have next year, I could see Howie trading a third next year to get a fourth and a fifth this year. They could do that. The only way the Eagles draft Bijan if he falls to 30 or Howie trades back. There's no way Howie trades out of the top 15. Yeah, I don't think they go further than that, to be honest with you. That's just me. This one's very interesting too. John says we should have Marcus Mariota as a backup. Now, I did not think that I didn't think that we were, our backup quarterback was really going to play this bad when he had to take over some games for Jalen Hurts this year. Minshew, it just didn't. We need to get somebody that has almost the same skill set or similar skill set to Jalen Hurts. I think, because then what happens is you go into a game where they put Minshew in, they put him in a Jalen Hurts system, and it didn't work. Because all they have to do is really hone in on Miles Sanders, and that was pretty much it. Get pressure, get the Miles Sanders, because Minshew isn't going to fool you with his legs. That's just the reality of it. You know what I mean? So that's just the reality of it. Just what happens. Hold on. Sorry. All right. Sorry. When I turn my OBS on, it like changes the color to where my camera is. I don't know why it does that. So, Coach says, I'm going to get a DB at top 10 of my preference. Top DB talent is hard to come by. Yeah, dude. And if there's a DB, class that's real deep right now, you're going to have the pick of the litter. I mean, you might I would say 1 to 2 might get taken. There could be only one corner to be taken in the top 10 before our pick, possibly. So, family said there's 0% chance Gonzalez. Oh no, they'll be gone. They'll 100% be gone. Brand says none of the charges against Carter are felony charges. Carter should still go top 5. Yeah, he could. Well, we'll just have to see. We'll have to see what those teams think that are in the top 10 of what they think. Obviously, like, you'll find rumors. You'll find, even on draft day, the Eagles will kind of start to know what teams are doing. Having a plan to get a player that they want. And Carter, I would love Carter and Jordan Davis lined up next to each other. I mean, really, really nice. Kessler's Thrift says that if we don't go Carter, what about 4.6 DT out of Pittsburgh? Oh, that Kalijah Cansey? Kalijah, I can't say. Kalijah Cansey. I can't say his name right. Yeah, he ran like a 4.7. He's just a little, he's average size for a DT. He's average size. His one-on-ones are pretty good. He probably will be a first. It sounds like he will be a first-round pick this year, but he definitely showed his testing was really good, really, really, really good. So, but at the same time, I can't go by the testing too much with certain positions. I don't know. It just depends. Like the 40 times I don't care about with defensive linemen. I mean, these linemen aren't running 40 yards downfield. It's cool to see a lot of these defensive linemen were just freakish athletes. It's just crazy how many are running between the 4.5s to the 4.7s. It's just insane right now. Chris says a deep defensive end class. I don't see it after Anderson and Foskey. Who are these other great defensive ends? Oh, I mean, I don't know. I don't think defensive. I mean, from what Daniel Jeremiah said, the defensive end class is really good this year. Defensive end, tight end, and running back are really deep. That's what he said. I don't know. I haven't looked too much deep into defensive end besides a couple guys, and you mentioned Foskey and Anderson, but should be interesting. Rip says pair Jalen Carter with Davis be our new Fletch and Graham. They will work so well. I think they're going to do really good. I do. Ryan says Gonzalez or Porter won't be available at 30. Grab them at 10 and draft another corner at 30 because Slay is getting old. Yeah, well, they're not going to draft 2 corners in the first round. That's definitely not happening. So, Martin Lee says, do you think Howie drafts Quentin Johnson, wide receiver TCU with 10th pick? I don't know how much interest they have. Now, there's already rumors about Quez Watkins getting traded. I don't know how much that we could take from it. There are like real strong reports that Quez is going to be traded. And I think that's how they're going to get their mid-round pick back. Because I think the lowest amount of what they're going to get for Quez is probably going to be like a 4th-round pick. It's not going to be much, guys. Like, if you think Quez is going to be like, their Eagles are going to get like a 3rd-round pick for him, it ain't happening. Or higher than that, it's crazy. The Eagles will get, I think if the Eagles trade Quez, they'll get a 4th-round pick. Quez is just not consistent. It was a down year. And after that Pittsburgh game, we found out after the season was over, the Super Bowl was over, that Quez Watkins was dealing with a grade 2 shoulder sprain for weeks. And then that's why they kind of phased him out of this offense. Zach Pascal got more involved, more double tight end sets in your offense. if Quez is hurt, why are you putting it all on him pressure-wise to get that wide open catch, or at least the catch that went through his hands in the Super Bowl? Look, other than Jalen Hurts fumbling the football, Jalen Hurts had a monster game. His players just didn't. His players didn't pan out for him, unfortunately. These receivers were put in great position to do really well, but it just didn't work out. Quez is, I don't know. I had no problem with keeping him into next year, but it won't take much for the Eagles to find a number 3 wide receiver. It really won't take much it won't take much at all, to be honest. So, for the Raptors, Eagles ain't drafting fast. Furious Lurie is only willing to ignore criminal charges for QBs. Let's see. We got a super chat from Wetfoot80. Thank you so much, man. He says, would you trade Watkins for... Yeah, like I said, 4th round pick. 4th round pick, yeah. I think that's fair. I think that's fair compensation for the Eagles to get that done. I think that's the most realistic, to be honest. Hey, Trap says, bro, he ain't auditioned for the Suns, Georgia, but okay, bro. Brand Cat says, that's not how football works. The only teams run hurry-up offense all the time. Davis will be on the field for 3rd down. Davis also is in good shape to play every... That's the one thing that I'm really worried about with Jordan Davis. Like, he has got to have the most monstrous offseason he has had, because he was actually, guys, he was actually playing really well. He had that high ankle sprain. Before that high ankle sprain, he was really coming into his own. Like, he was playing really well. Then he got hurt. Then the Eagles signed Linval and Sue, and then that was it. And then Davis came back, and it really, it gave us more depth at DT, which was great. But at this point, guys, he's got to pan out next year. He's got to have a good year next year. I'm not saying he's got to be an Aaron Donald. I'm not looking for him to be the most prolific pass rusher I've ever seen in my life, because that's not why he's here. He's here to take on double teams and be the best run stuffer in the league. That's all I'm looking for. That's all I'm looking for. And his statistics are never going to show up the way it is, but he's going to play really well. Okay. Can't have it. Can't have it. He's got to be in good shape next year. That's the only thing that's going to really piss us all off is, holy crap, I don't care how much pounds he drops, but he has got to be in shape. I saw him on the ground a lot this year. I really did. I still thought he played really well up to that point before that ankle sprain. That high ankle sprain, I thought he played really well. But we got a super chat for Demier. Thank you so much, man. He says, take Brian Branch at 10, draft Eli Ricks, later play at LSU and Bama, very underrated corner. There's probably going to be a lot of guys. There's probably guys that the Eagles have really looked at in the later rounds that could become gems. And I wouldn't doubt that they're looking at certain guys, because that's how, think about it. Think about it. The Seahawks secondary, right? Think about the Seahawks, the Legion of Boom at the time. A lot of those guys weren't early draft picks. Some of these guys were late round picks, late rounders, and they turned out to be gems. They got real lucky in that secondary on a lot of players. You're not gonna, you don't do that by getting guys in the first round every single year. You find guys that are just gems, and sometimes between your 1st and 2nd round pick should be on the field. Your 3rd round pick, obviously 3rd and 4th round picks are role players. Your 5th, 6th, and 7th are really guys that either are going to pan out or not, or either going to be gems, or you see what they could do. And it could be on the downside of your roster where they're only playing special teams, or they're just going to stick to your practice squad. You know what I mean? So we'll see. Mon said, I appreciate the super chat very much, man. Mon says, nobody wants Quez Watkins. He was a 6th round pick. You're not getting a 4th or a 5th. Oh, that doesn't mean it. I don't think that means anything, because of where he was drafted. That doesn't mean anything. He's played above his draft grade. He's played above that. Just because we draft him as a 6th round pick, it doesn't mean we only get a 6th round pick back. No, they should be able to get a 4th, 5th round pick for him. Why not? That's not even asking for too much. I think that's perfectly fair to get a 4th, 5th round pick for Quez Watkins. It's not like he just played 2 games this year. You know what I mean? He was a full-time star, obviously, not knowing the injury, and he was taken out of games and got less opportunity. But Webb said trade back 10 pick, get more picks, and take the best corner on the board. Yeah, but how far are you trading back? You're not trading back that much. I'm only trading back like maybe 3 spots. Like I can't trade back any more than that. William Kelly Green says, heard punter Matt Araiza won't face charges. Would you think wrong of how he signed him? I forgot all about that Matt Araiza whatever situation that was going on. I don't even remember. But they definitely need a new punter because Aaron Sipos is trash. Horrible. Both of those punters. That other guy, Kent, whatever the hell his name was, the ex-Titans punter, horrible. He says, bro, I'm not staying in bad. Hopefully staying in. I wouldn't take the 10th, maybe 30. Sheldon Davis says Witherspoon is the best corner in the draft. I think it's going to come down to Witherspoon and Gonzalez, both of those guys. I really do. But I know Gonzalez, yeah. Gonzalez is testing today as well. So, guys, that Davis was banged up later in the year. I don't blame him for being less effective. Yeah, he was less effective, but, luckily bringing in Sue and Linval was huge for us. And that was for that Colts game, They said Maddox stays injured. I swear, if I got to see Josiah Scott get cooked, I will jump off a cliff. Yeah, so potentially you can lose. Like, they have to go corner. Like, I feel like they got to go corner. Like, Slay's a free agent after this year. Maddox, I think, is a free agent, right? Isn't Maddox a free agent after this year, right? I got to check this. Because if that's the case, like, how you... I don't know, man. Maddox. No, he's got 2 years. He's got another year left. He's got another year after this year. I mean, he has a voided contract in 25. So what is he on contract for 23 and 24? Because his cap number for his cap number this year is $4 million. His cap number in 24 is $10 million in 24. So, and then he has voided contracts from 25 to 27 or 20 from 25 to 27. So it looks like he's on contract for another 2 years. So we'll have him this year and next year. Interesting. That's interesting. Darvas, I said the Eagles should have grabbed Woolen last year if he never would have developed into with us. John said, I really wouldn't be shocked if Howie grabbed defensive line, edge, offensive line with our first pick. He's firm, the best player available. Yeah, no, I get it. And I think when it comes down to it, like I could definitely see them going after another offensive lineman in this draft. There's going to be a gem down there. There's going to be a gem at offensive line. Jeff Stoutland's here on a multi-year deal. Thank God he re-signed. If you guys did forget, he did re-sign with us, which was awesome. I think that was huge because Jeff Stoutland is the run game coordinator and he's the offensive line coach as well. So he does, he's got a couple titles. Definitely picking an offensive lineman. You need another offensive lineman. So more so, what's possible of Howie trading for a veteran Pro Bowl cornerback? Ramsey, similar to how they traded AJ since he messed with. Yeah, not a big move. No. And I wouldn't even. I'm not even. Shaquille Griffin, I know. Shaquille Griffin from the Jags, they're trying to trade him at cornerback. They're trying to get a deal done with him or trying to trade him away. The Ramsey thing, I'm just not. I don't know. He needs to get paid, and I just don't see us putting money there. I don't. It's stupid. It makes no sense unless you want to stoop to getting a low grade corner and a trade, or a free agent guy that's just not going to pan out on the other side. Like you got to draft somebody. As much as I want a defensive lineman, it's tough. They can't pass up on these corners this year. They just can't. They really can't this year. So he said, I've seen a bunch of high quality D-line in the combine yesterday. Ron said, I don't see why we pay a corner when you can draft a corner at 10. We would be a younger, faster, and cheaper than paying it all. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it makes any sense. Now, it really depends on if the Eagles miss out on trenches and what they do throughout free agency for the trenches at defensive line, because you're losing 6 defensive linemen. I don't see them paying Hargrave. I don't see them paying Cox on a short-term 1-year deal. Fletcher Cox is just not the same player, especially if you have no depth at defensive tackle. Fletcher Cox is going to do nothing for us. absolutely nothing, because when he played 70% of the snaps this year, he was complaining about it. And then when they got Sue and Linval in the building, he played better. Fletcher Cox is not the same player he used to be. That's just the truth to it all. So got 6 defensive linemen moving around. They also said Slay been getting cooked. Yeah, and Slay's been really weird too, because, and I think part of it was Gannon as well, because there were times where they want these corners to react 8 yards off the ball. Makes no sense. I think that Washington game when he was up against Terry McLaurin really pissed me off, because he would be almost 10 yards off the ball, and he's literally waiting for Terry McLaurin when he's going 100 miles an hour. He's going 100% running straight at Slay, and you want him to react? He's not going to win those matchups. Like what they did with Slay, you have to give Slay something to do in a game and shadow the best receiver. Just like he did in that Vikings game on Monday night. He was literally following Jefferson everywhere and shut him down. Like, yes, that's what happens. Like, you got to give Slay, and they were just leaving Slay on one side of the field some of the season. They were just leaving him on that side, like nothing to do. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you got to give Slay something to do, and to shadow the best receiver on the field. You got to do it. Part of it was this scheme. Part of it was where they were moving these corners around. I totally believe it. Totally believe it. So. Philly Ratchet, Quez had 354 yards on 30 receptions with 3 touchdowns. Other teams aren't going to see a ton of value with those pedestrian numbers. No, I don't think so. But I think they can get a fifth round pick for him. I don't see why. I think they can get a 4th to a 5th rounder for him. I do. I'll take a 5th rounder for him. I don't care. I don't care if it's a 4th, a 5th. I don't care if it's a 6th at this point. I don't. I just feel like we need to get a pick regardless. Goes to what players are you most excited about seeing today? I mean, Christian Gonzalez is probably, I don't know if is it just cornerbacks or is it cornerbacks and linebackers today? I'm not sure what the positions are today, but definitely more of the cornerbacks today I'm excited for. Definitely going to be looking out for all of that. Christian Gonzalez, number 1 on my list right now. I'm looking at some of his statistics on his testing. So, Ryan said, I want to see Gonzalez combine today. You know how he loves the Pac-12 corners. I think that's who are we going to take at 10? And they could. They really could. Everybody says, y'all don't want Shaq. Trust me. Y'all says, DC Bear press or cornerbacks, not 10 yards back. Yeah, Sean Desai is going to be interesting, man. Like, look, I look at statistics from what he's done in his, he's been a Fangio apprentice coaching-wise. And he really took a Bears defense that barely had even a quarter of the talent that we had this year and turned into a top 10 defense that year, but took chances on being more aggressive. If you don't have the best corners, if you don't have the best defensive line, you have to create ways to get pressure when you don't have a lot of talent. And that's why it really pisses me off that Gannon just didn't take advantage of the situation he was in. Complained in 21 that he had an excuse. They didn't have enough talent. The guy is just full of excuses. That's just what I think. And then after, at the combine, Gannon wouldn't even, I don't want to be asked any more Super Bowl questions. I'm moving forward. He just didn't want to talk about it. He fucked up. He totally just shit the bed, and just really annoying. Baber says, didn't the Jags overpay Shaq and free agency last offseason? Chris says, why didn't Kobe Dean not play more? Edwards was okay. Dean is run stop machine, because they didn't play Nakobe Dean. He was playing special teams the whole year, but they didn't play Nakobe Dean because of how much was in front of him, with signing White and having Edwards already here in the building. There was just a lot of, there was just competition in front of him, and they just had guys that were there. That there were guys that were already here in front of him, and I think that Kobe Dean should have had some playing time, but we're done with last year, and this is a whole new year. And the Kobe Dean will get a shot, and he'll be playing with a chip on his shoulder, and he'll be good to go. Webb said, would you try to get the Brown safety? Now, there is rumors on the Eagles have been a landing spot, rumored that there's some interest for, I think his name is John Johnson. John Johnson? I think that's his name. He's young. I think he's 24, 20. No, what is he, 27? I think he's 26, 27. I forgot his age. But it looks like the Eagles have some interest at safety as well in free agency. So we'll see what happens with that. There's nothing, the Eagles were one of a few teams that had interest. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, the Eagles really haven't freed up any money yet besides Kelsey's restructure. So there's really nothing much there. Though I said there'll be good corners in the third or fourth round if you're looking for a slot corner to replace Max. I'm personally looking to grab Jordan Battle in the third to fill out our hole at safety. Yeah, that could be another one too. But I don't want to wait that long for a cornerback, unfortunately. I don't want to take a chance, Let's see. We got a super chat from Broderick Ford. What's going on, man? He says, need a power back in case they get rid of QB. I don't know if they're even interested in a power back. I at this point, it's like you had Trey Sermon, you used him for 2 snaps in the Jags game, and that was it. Like, I don't even know if they even have interest in a power back, period. I really don't. I don't know if they do, to be honest. Jay said we need BG, Chauncey, and Reddick. Let's see here. Ron said, if we don't find a way to extend Hargrave, I'm going to be really upset. Rylan, I'm just telling you that it's probably not going to happen. Like, his market's at $20 million a year. I'll read the rest of this, but I'm just letting you know. I'm going to be really upset. Chauncey Johnson Hargrave is a big deal to me. Like, we need those guys, big foundation pieces for our defense. Yeah. I'm just being straight up with you. I don't think Hargrave's getting re-signed. I don't. It's going to be a big, tough. Honestly, what's going to make this defense successful is what Sean Desai does with this game plan every week. Sean Desai will be the factor of what this defense is going to do next year. Because look, at the end of the day, Sean Desai in 21 was defensive coordinator for the Bears. He didn't have the best talent on defense, but what he did, you have to compensate for not having great players with a very aggressive defense. And you got to take your punches, and he did that with that defense that year. They were a top 10 defense that year because, I forgot, I had the statistics here for Sean Desai in 21 as the coordinator, but you got to compensate for not having the great players on your defense, for having the best players. But if Desai is very creative on getting pressure in some ways, I'm telling you, he will be the deciding factor going forward. So it should be interesting, but Hargrave is probably going to be done, man. When can we sign Hurts, Chauncey Gardner, or could they ever? No, they could sign him right now. They're open to sign right now. Yeah, I looked at Leonard Fournette. A lot of people didn't, a lot of people were not liking that either. Like, Leonard Fournette would be great. I wouldn't mind it. I want to see, guys, just imagine just getting a running back like that. Like, just imagine, like I always think about, having DeAndre Swift with this offensive line. Like, imagine how, I'm not saying it's realistic, but I'm just saying, wouldn't you, imagine, a Derrick Henry behind this offensive line? Or, you always want, imagine, man, just imagine how much, just what these guys could do. Fournette would be a great piece. Gainwell and Fournette would be awesome if they can get it done, but I don't think it's going to happen. But I don't know what he's commanding money-wise, so I'm not really sure about that. Brandon, Philly almost never threw their running backs last year. The Eagles should sign a running back who's effective as a receiver out of the backfield. Because they didn't like throwing to them. I hate the fact that Miles Sanders came into this season with so much tread on the tires, because look at his career. 2019 with the Eagles, drafted rookie year. Miles Sanders was utilized so well by Doug. I loved Miles Sanders in the passing game. I absolutely loved it. Matching him up on linebackers, on wheel routes. It was fantastic. Throwing to Miles on stride was almost not fair at all. Then in 2020, Doug just barely ran with Miles the whole season. 2021, Nick Sirianni took over the play calling for the first 6-7 games. They barely ran the football. And then, obviously, they made the wild card. He was hurt 2 times. 21, he was hurt 2 times. He just got killed by injuries. And then this past year, this was the year he was really healthy. They have underutilized Miles, Miles could have had some good seasons, like better seasons than most, but they just liked passing the ball to Gainwell and Scott more than Miles. I don't know why. I don't get it. Like that's, Miles is a dual threat back. He's got so much more to offer. They underutilized him. They didn't use him enough. And he's going to go to another team where they're going to do it. They're going to expand his play so well. That's just the truth. You know what I mean? It sucks. That's the way it goes, man. Blink Cal Green says, we have Sermon for another year. Maybe he'll be used this time. I don't know. I honestly don't know. It's really going to be up to Nick. Like, it's really not even really going to be up to Nick. It's really going to be up to what Brian Johnson's going to do with this playbook this year. I feel like he wants to really expand what Hurts can really do. And like, I think the one thing I did want going into this offseason was really, I wanted Brian Johnson to stay with Hurts. I think that was like the number one thing. Okay. He's been a play caller at Florida, helped Dak Prescott turn into probably the best year in college that he had, done really well. Hurts is doing the work himself in the offseason, but when it comes down to it, Johnson has done a really good job next to him as well, and it's been good. So Nolan Smith is a beast, bro. Guy's gonna be a beast. Marcia, if Desai can make in-game adjustments, that would be the difference. Yeah, I think that's going to make the difference. Like, look at the talent you had on this defense and the depth you had from this defense this year, and you made no adjustments, little to none. I'm not saying every game was, we were winning games and we felt really good and comfortable, but we always wondered, like, if they got far in the playoffs, would Gannon be more, how would Gannon look against, that was the issue. That was the issue we were going to have, and it came true, unfortunately. Ryan says, "Now we are franchise tagging Chauncey Gardner. Please don't let Hargrave." From what I'm hearing right now, it looks like the Steelers have interest to bring him back. I know the Steelers have interest to bring him back. The Bears have a lot of interest right now, and that's all I've heard so far. Chris says, why did Kuiper have Eagles taking onto Pete Skronsky at 10 when we are set with Lane and Mulata? I don't know. I don't watch Mel Kiper because of crap like that he says. I don't know why the Eagles would take an offensive lineman in the first round. At least with the first pick, I don't see it happening. Let's see. KB said, let White go. Nakobe Dean can take his place. Brad Katz said, Edwards was horrible in coverage all year. True. Casey targeted him on almost every play in the second half of the Super Bowl. No adjustments. Yeah, Kaiser White and TJ Edwards are horrible in coverage. Horrible. Especially when your defensive line is slipping. You can't get pressure on that quarterback. You're gonna get pummeled all day. So Logan says, Joey, what team will Sanders go to? I honestly don't know. Just stay out of the NFC East. That's all. All I want him to do is stay out of the NFC East. That's all I care about. Ryan says Edwards is going to get replaced by Nakobe, and we are letting go of Hargrave and franchise tagging Chauncey Gardner Johnson. I totally 100% agree with that. Jordan Davis and Nakobe Dean era, dude. I know. I'm excited. I'm excited, bro. Cody says, I hope we draft the linebacker in the second or third. We need an impact guy. Andrew says, Kenny, McDonald, Eric Gray are two mid-round running backs. That would be a nice addition to the team, but Gibbs at 30 would be a home run. I would definitely do Gibbs, man. I would definitely do Gibbs. Reminds me of like an Alvin Kamara clone in a lot of ways because his vision's so good and he's really good in the passing game as well. Brandon says Philly should be able to bring back Gardner Johnson, but they could sign the Bradbury and Hargrave. No, they can't bring those two back. Jada Vid 12345 says, do you think the Eagles will trade down one of their first rounders to gain more picks in 23 draft? They could trade back, but it can't be much. Like if you're trading back from 10, I'm going like 3 spots, and that's too much for me. Like I need a talent. I can't sit. That really depends what they're aiming for. But Brand says Goddard should have a bigger role in the offense. He's a top 5 tight end, should have more than 55 catches. Yeah, definitely a bigger role. I think he's obviously the 3rd best tight end. I think he's going to be better than Kittle, to be honest. I have him as the number 3 tight end anyway in the league, just the best at what he could do. Yeah, Goddard's just been just crazy. Even coming back from injury, he played really good. So I was happy that he came back healthy and he played really well too. So, yo, Baron, what's going on, dude? John said, I think a 3rd down back in the offense would be deadly. Insert Bijan Robinson behind this offensive line would be. Yeah, I get it, dude. But do you take a chance on not taking a top defensive talent this year? I understand you have another 1st-round pick. I totally get it. But you could fill 2 spots. You got 6 free agents on the defensive line alone. You got 6 on the defensive line. You got Kaiser White. You got Edwards. You got Bradbury. You got Epps. I mean, it's no joke. You got 10 free agents on your defense. 10. And you count Chauncey Gardner not getting re-signed yet. That's 11. Like, yeah, it's sexy to see Bijan behind this offensive line, but at the end of the day, like, running backs are expendable, and even if he's a generational talent, do you still really take him with how many free agents you have on this defense? That's the problem I'm having right now. That's the issue I'm having. You know what I mean? Like, if we had like 3 first-round picks this year, I would do it. Like, instantly, I would do it. That's the only problem, you know? If they had like 2 second-round picks this year, I'd maybe do it. But I'm sorry, but there's too many free agents on this defense to say, oh, Bijan. I don't see them. I just don't see them drafting a running back in the 1st round. I don't. Like, they've already proved us wrong drafting a running back high in the 2nd with Miles Sanders. I don't see this happening in the 1st round. I don't see it. Ron said, I love Swift. I was thinking, Joey, if we get Fournette to a 1-year deal, somehow got Bijan, talk about a power. Yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be great. But I think they would only do one move. I would try to trade for DeAndre Swift. 100%. Get Swift in Philadelphia on a 2-year prove-it deal where you can release him after 1 year and not lose any money. I would trade for Swift immediately. I would. If it was me, I would trade for Swift. Boom, done. Gainwell, Swift, and a bigger back, Sermon, Kennedy, Brooks. I don't know, whoever makes the 3rd spot. If they want to keep 3 running backs, fine by me. That's what they want to do. Dog said, Gans dropped 10 yards, shell defense reared. It's ugly. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good at all. It was pretty bad. Barron's Osiris Torrance would be awesome to have at right guard, especially with Stoutland coaching him up. Yeah, be great. Trap says Gibbs or Bijan would be home run, but we need power back. Gainwell can run on screens. We're receiving back. Bijan is a 3-down back. Power back would be a great deal. The problem is, dude, is I don't know if they like power backs. That's the only thing that I'm like, I think about is if they had, like, here was the story of Trey Sermon. Like, they wanted to trade for him so badly, and then he got let off on waivers. The Eagles picked him up, and they used him for two snaps in a game, and that was it. And they never used him again. They never gave him another opportunity ever again. So I never got the whole thing with, Bruiser. I love bruiser backs. I absolutely love it because you could be unstoppable. You could tire out defenses. It can open up your pass because that defensive line will be more tired. They won't have enough energy to really get a good pass rush on your offense. Having a bruiser back is great. Having a finisher is awesome. Like how we use Jordan Howard to be like a finisher type back and tire out those defensive lines that will really affect the pass rush. But I just don't know if they have interest in using a power back. I don't see it. Chris says, thanks, Tony, Stoney, but still don't see it. We got Samalo Jurgens. Well, Samalo's gone. So, yeah. Yeah, but if Kuiper's but why Cam Jurgens is going to be good? I am 100% sure that Cam Jurgens is going to be a great guard. Next to Kelsey. Come on now. Brian says, I'm with you, Joey. We should trade back to 15 or 17, stay at 10 unless you get. Yeah, that's all. Like, that's 15. Like, I don't even want to go back that far, man. That's too much. That's way too much. Unless that board is going so good for us right now, like trading back from 10 to 15 to 17. I'll go like 13. I can't go back that far unless there's a crazy deal on the table for us that will still get us a good player. I think it's most likely we are getting a running back in free agency. So if so, which one are your faves? I like Dalvin Cook. I like I said, DeAndre Swift is probably my favorite trade candidate. It comes to a trade candidate, it's gonna be DeAndre Swift. 100%. Prove it deal. You need to sign somebody on a prove it deal. That's what you're looking for signing a running back. You're not trying to go in the free agency and sign Josh Jacobs. Look, if you're gonna do that, then just sign Miles Sanders back. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not looking to give someone a lot more money. I'm looking for someone on a prove it type, like, see what you got, for the next couple of years type deal. That's what I'm kind of looking at. Brand says we should let the running back that on our practice squad play. Yeah, Trey Sermon. Kennedy Brooks is another one. He's played with Jalen Hurts at Oklahoma. He's another one that I really like. But since we only have 2 preseason games now, you can only give so much looks to all these players. Kennedy Brooks, they barely even used him in preseason. Like, I really like Kennedy Brooks a lot. Always made the first guy. Like, I really liked him. I just don't think he had enough opportunity, to be honest. Tommy says, you think we'll take Gonzalez or Witherspoon? Yes. I feel like that's the most realistic option. I think it's either going to be Jalen Carter on a trade up between 6 to 8. It could be Will Anderson if he's not taken, in the top 10, depending. He should be taken at that point. And if that's not the case, I feel like if Carter and Anderson are gone, you're taking Witherspoon or Gonzalez at 10. That's like I said, if Gonzalez and Witherspoon are gone within the top 10, you're taking Carter or Will Anderson if they're available. Like, I'm literally going by how the board, if the board falls where corners are taken, we're going defensive tackle, defensive end. If defensive tackle, defensive end is taken, we're going cornerback. That's where I'm kind of going with this whole thing. Pretty much. Ray says, I don't know why Dean didn't play more in his performance against the Titans. Well, we were creaming them. I mean, we were destroying them. So they put Nakobe Dean in on a lot of plays, and he was all over the place, man. He was all over the place. We got a super chat from Broader Force. Thank you so much, man. He says, did you hear Shannon Sharp on this Chauncey Gardner-Johnson tweet on Jonathan Gannon? No. I didn't hear I saw the tweet, but I didn't see anything on Shannon Sharp or anything. Let's go on Twitter. See what's going on here. Let's see what's going on here. So, let's see. I'm kind of looking for anything else that's going on right now. And I don't really see much right now. Nothing. Hold on. This is what we're going to be doing every freaking day. So obviously Keely Ringo, Eagles met with him yesterday. Looks like Marvin Mims, wide receiver Marvin Mims. He has spoken to the Eagles. We'll definitely be covering him later today as well, because I want to kind of look at some of his stuff. Let's see. Yeah, Cam Smith talked about playing with the Eagles. So there's a lot of good things. I mean, Eagles are looking at defense mostly. I mean, literally, other than hearing that they met up with 2 offensive linemen and this wide receiver that they have interest in, I haven't really heard anything else like offensively. Like, really, it's been down like defense. Like, no joke. That's the way it's been. Brand says Carter would fit very well with Davis. Philly has a draft capital to trade up and get him too. Oh yeah, I mean, the Eagles could do what they want. If they could trade up and get him, they can move up to a higher pick if they want. But always look out for Howie Roseman been trying to move up in the draft. So always look for some type of move. They get Jalen Carter, it's going to be dangerous, man. It's going to be real dangerous. I mean, you're gonna have I'm so obsessed with letting this team get younger and younger and younger, and just having absolute dogs on this team defensively. Like can't wait for it. Marco Bird says Howie is about to run circles around these GMs again this offseason. It was funny because Howie Roseman talked at the combine. And he talked about teams or other GMs that mimic him, like they try to mimic what he does. And you saw what the Rams did. Like, look what the Rams try to do, making all these moves, and they put themselves in a hole after a Super Bowl. Literally. You know what I mean? Like, you have to draft well, man. Like, you can't just go out and make all these moves. Like, you made all these moves. You took away all your draft capital. You didn't have first round picks for like a couple seasons. Like, you literally. Like Howie Roseman is just smart, and like I forgot the answer, like what he said, quote unquote, but it was just so like pretty much the cockiness came out. Was like nobody can really do this like me. He didn't say it, but what he kind of was saying was like most teams that do what I do are going to literally put your organization at fault and dismiss all of your draft capital and not have the money to sign players and put yourself in a big hole for years to come. Like that's what was kind of going crazy with Howie Roseman, and no, nobody could do it like him, bro. We got Solar Raider says the running back situation should be a big of a deal. Any back would fit in our offense behind the line, and Hurts draft Witherspoon at 10 and grab Nolan Smith or BJ Ardar at 30 if available. Yeah, like I said, I'm all down for drafting a corner at 10. Okay. I don't make a big deal out of the running back core because you have an offensive line. You have AJ Brown, you have Devontae Smith, you have Dallas Goedert. You know what I mean? You have Jalen Hurts that's going to be out. You have your franchise quarterback, guys. That's the greatest thing about this whole situation. You found your quarterback. And like, I have to put so much effort into drafting a running back that high in the draft. No. What complements a good defense? A really good offense. Okay. You're going to want to put so many points on the board next year. Take advantage of the offense you have right now. You still got AJ Brown and Devontae Smith paired up. You have 2 number 1 receivers still paired up with a top 3 tight end in the league right now. Go out and get a bona fide vet at running back and take this over. Get some points on the board. You know what I mean? Like, if I have to deal with a defense that's not going to be great next year, you got to have a powerful offense going into next offseason. That's what you got to do. You got to take advantage of your offense, what it is right now. Your offense, you're not losing that many pieces. It really hasn't changed that much, other than maybe Quez isn't going to be here. Samalo's not going to be here at right guard. Cam Jurgens comes in and Miles Sanders isn't here. Who cares? You know, like, I'm not making a big deal about the offense. Like I said, what complements a good defense is a fantastic offense that's going to score points after points after points. Sean Desai, I'm very happy with this hiring for now. You know, got to see more, got to see what his plan is and what this roster looks like by OTA's training camp. Until we really put it all together. See here. So he says rank 1 and 3 Gonzalez, Witherspoon, Ringo. Oh, Witherspoon, Gonzalez, Ringo, bro. Ringo's always been my third. Ringo's always been my third on my list. Cody says how high would we trade up for Carr even Anderson? I would say from 6 to 8. 6 to 8 is like probably like once you get to like 6, 7, I think that's where you kind of got to go. I think that's where you got to go with it. Yo, Jacob, what's going on, dude? Brands, I don't see Carter falling past 5. He was the highest rated player in all college football in SC, and he's a pass. Yeah, dude. Like I said, like he could be gone. He could be gone. It's going to be interesting. It could be gone. You know, I mean, but you never know. You know, like he could move down. And then there's always going to be that player, like when Derek Stingley got drafted that early, no one expected him to go early to the Texans. Nobody. I don't even think he tested at the combine. Like no one really thought, Brans, I hear Peter Skorsky should be a better guard than tackle. Dave says all these 1 year mercs is because the multi-years of bad picks. Well, I mean, it's necessarily with the 1 year deals. Like we signed Linval. We only signed Linval and Sue because of Jordan Davis being hurt. So he became more. Howie Roseman got more aggressive to sign those two guys because of the high ankle sprain to Jordan Davis. Then when Jordan Davis came back, they ended up keeping Sue and Linval, which was great. But it's not. Well, there's not 1 year deals like Miles Sanders wasn't. Like Miles Sanders was here for 4 years. You know what I mean? Like he's a free agent now. Like they weren't. All these players weren't on 1 year deals. Like they just, they're not going to extend guys right now. Like there's only a certain moment. Like, and remember in 21, they extended Sweat and Maddox. Like they were starting to extend. That was part of our free agency for 2022 because they extended a lot of guys in 21 with Sweat and Mulata and the rest of those guys. They extended a lot of guys in that season. That was part of our free agency on kind of locking up some guys. So I wouldn't say because of multi-years of bad picks. I mean, yeah, the Eagles didn't draft well for a few years after the Super Bowl. There's no doubt about it. I mean, they kept restructuring, kicking those high cap hits down the road, which affected us later on. Going into the 2021 offseason, we were 75 over the cap, which was a lot of money. It was a lot. So I wouldn't say it was all because of that. I mean, the Eagles just added a lot. Kaiser White was a 1 year deal. Like, there's, you don't want to lock up guys long term when you don't have to, because that's when I'd rather have Howie Roseman deal with a bunch of 1 year deals than signing like a Malik Jackson and an Alshon Jeffrey to big deals that were hurting because of the dead money and Carson Wentz's contract, highest dead cap hit from a quarterback that the Eagles have paid. The Eagles took a chance. They traded Carson Wentz, even dealing with a big dead money cap number, and they took a chance doing that. So, it's, I think we're getting a lot better. I think Howie Roseman has Jeffrey Lurie took a step back. Andy Weidel is not here anymore. So I feel like a lot of people got in the way of Howie Roseman's picks. Not saying he's never drafted a bad player, but I feel like when Sirianni was hired, the rumors did come out that Jeffrey Lurie took a step back. And I think that was part of the truth as well. So we're getting better. The last two off seasons have been fantastic. The last one being the best one. What is up Howie Roseman's sleeve? That's going to be the question going forward. So, going to be fun. Yo, Dave. What's going on, Dave? Welcome to the Shake Squad Soldier Tier, man. All the extra content, draft highlight reactions and stuff like that. Appreciate you joining up, man. Much appreciated. If you guys haven't joined up on the memberships, definitely join up. We have draft highlight reactions where we just sit and we talk about, highlight tape and the good and bad things we see from players. So there's already like 4 or 5 videos up. We're doing them every day. So if you guys haven't joined up, please join up. It's very cheap. So appreciate it. Brad says 180 is too small to be a number 1 cornerback. Solar says not like he's a linebacker because. Yo, Ryan, what's going on, dude? What's going on, man? So we've been on stream for 177 in the chat. If you guys haven't subscribe to the channel. Like to stream if you guys haven't either. We're going to have the Eagles news every single day. We'll have another video out today on day 2 of the Combine. Christian Gonzalez is really what I'm looking at into today. I want to see his testing. I want to see how well he does. He did mention the other day that don't be surprised that his testing is going to be really good. So feels really confident in himself going forward. So Barron says chance of Quinn coming back with Desai here. I didn't get much. I don't know. I didn't really get much from Quinn. A 4th round pick for Quinn was just, I don't know. To me, I didn't really like it. I don't know. He didn't do much for me. Didn't do much for me. So he was a rental for like $700,000 for the year. So he didn't cost us really anything. It was really no money. It was cheap. So what's going on, Logan? He says, fly, let's fly. What's going on, Logan? Aaron said, I think Gonzalez will be first DB drafted. Could be. So Gonzalez might jump in front of Witherspoon. I take Witherspoon or Gonzalez. Gonzalez I'm taking Witherspoon. Depending on the testing today and how he looks, Gonzalez might jump Witherspoon, in my opinion. Eagle Seed says, do you like Deuce Vaughn, the running back out of Kansas State? I don't think I've checked him out yet. I don't think I've checked him out yet. Yeah, we definitely wasted that 4th round pick. there's no doubt. we definitely wasted it. Definitely wasted it. Because then we found out like he was dealing with, I don't know if he was dealing with an injury or I don't know. Like he had like 10 games into the Eagles as a Philadelphia Eagle. 10 games in, he was like, he had 1 sack. 1. That's it. Would you pick Khalid Kansi? I probably would. If we don't get a defensive lineman at 10, if we go corner, I would get that Khalid. I can't say his name. I apologize. I got ripped for saying Keely Ringo's name wrong the other day. I got ripped for that the other day. On a comment I saw, like somebody was like taking it seriously. It's like, oh, I'm from Georgia, and we take these, we take it seriously. Don't. I'm like, dude, sorry I said his name wrong. Holy crap. God damn. Brad said Witherspoon wasn't tested at all. Illinois quarterbacks play in the Big Ten was complete garbage other than Stroud. Right, so I like Joey Porter Jr. if he falls to 10. A lot of people think he's a little too grabby, but Witherspoon is grabby. Yeah. I've seen some of his tape. He was a little grabby too. Yeah. Like Keely Ringo, I like a lot because like he boxes out receivers with his frame, which I really do like. But on the top of like a speedster receiver, like can he actually run stride for stride with somebody, with a number 1 receiver in the NFL? I don't think he can. But we'll see. So he says, Brand, my guy, we all have a different. Yeah, look, at the end of the day, guys, like we all have different opinions. At the end of the day, the one thing we want to do is make sure this team gets to another Super Bowl. That's all we care about. And trust me, like half the stuff that I say about the draft, like who knows? Like I'm right, I'm wrong. You know what I mean? Like I'm just a fan, just like you guys at the end of the day, like what do I know? Like I just look at what I look at, I give my opinion on it, and whatever the case may be is what it's going to be. So, so we'll see. Brad says, if Carter's at 9, are we going to trade up? I would. Oh, I mean, if Carter's at 9, yeah. I mean, if he gets to 9, I mean, yeah, if Carter got to 9, instantly I would trade up a spot. Coaches want to see Porter Jr. 40 time today. Brad says, Stanley played elite SC first year LSU. Witherspoon hasn't been tested. Hasn't been tested at all at Illinois. Fox says Witherspoon and guy from Kansas at 22 running back. Rome says Gonzalez is better in technique, still plays downhill when he needs to. Flying High says, I'm hoping we go corner than defensive end, which we might. Yo, Gentleman the Culture, what's going on, dude? Dave says Quinn equals poop sandwich. Yeah. I probably guessed that. Grabby cost us a Super Bowl. I don't know, bro. It's so political. That play is so political. It's ridiculous. Like it's just so like how many receivers do we see like grab like a pinch full of jersey? Like it's just, I don't know. I think it was probably that was a pretty bad call. At least if Kansas City, you make a stop there, You make a stop there. Kansas City kicks a field goal. They're up by 3. You have a minute and a half left. A minute 35, a minute 40, whatever it was, to go downfield and win the game. It was just real shitty to end it on that note. It was real crappy. Cody says, we interviewed a couple safeties yesterday. Want to see how they perform today. Yeah, should be interesting. So he says, Gonzalez, my number 1 cornerback in the draft. Ryan says, you can't really coach grabby. They either are or they aren't. Brad says, Epps was very average. Philly should be able to upgrade over him. Oh, yeah. I mean, 100%. Marsha Epps is gone. Is walking. I don't think they resign him. Thank God they don't. Reed Blankenship definitely came, took over when Chauncey got hurt in the Pittsburgh game. I forgot what game it was. Played really well. I want to see more competition. I want them to add more bodies to that group. I want to see if Reed can handle it. Reed played really good. I think Desai will know how to use him. Played good. I would really try to get as many buys as safety as possible, because if Chauncey could move around the field, like it would be like our Malcolm Jenkins type piece for this defense. That's why I think Chauncey just has so much value. You know what I mean? Like, even like when like the Eagles pretty much lost the Super Bowl and Chauncey like hit Pacheco, like just laid him out with that big hit, like not caring. Like, that's what I love. Like, guys just kept playing 100% hard, like didn't care. Love that attitude. Love it. She said, I feel like we got to get someone who can get to Mahomes. Corners feel secondary to me. A says, they said Gardner was grabby. Ryan said they ain't drafted Kansas City running back. He ain't a version of Darren Sproles. He's going to have taken in the 4th probably. Brand says Philly's pass rush against Mahomes was good. He threw a fast for them to get to him. Issue against KC was Philly's linebacker. Yeah, and I think, obviously. But obviously, if you have no pass rush, these linebackers can't hold up in pass coverage. I'm sorry, dude, but I rewatched that game 2 times, and I probably will never watch it again. It was really bad. I mean, you had literally guys were slipping at the same time. That's how bad it was. Like, literally, like, then they had to change the way they played too, because if you're Hassan Reddick and if you like bend way too much, you're gonna slip. They had to change that. They couldn't just be comfortable and attack. Like, it took them out of the play. Once they slipped on the ground, that was it. You're out of the play. You're done. You know what I mean? Fort Parr says, you always have a humble approach. Keep it up. I always do, bro. I always do. Trust me. If I'm wrong, I will tell you I'm wrong. Trust me. Rome says, I really want a hungry running back that's X factor in this offense next year. Also a better intermediate passing game. Yeah, I think Brian Johnson will open the playbook a little bit more. Running back wise, I still think they have to trade for one. I think they go trade. I think you should trade for a bona fide running back that's going to, somebody that's been in the league for a while, somebody that has 1 more year left on their deal that Howie Roseman likes to trade for, and have him here on a prove it deal and just rent one for the year. That's what I think they should do. I don't think they should touch any running backs in the first round. It's just not happening. KB says, Steve Smith said Joey Porter Jr. is going to be a great cornerback in the league. I grab a quarterback in the 1st and trade to get Joey Porter Jr. in the 3rd. The main man, Dana, what's going on, dude? He says, seriously, what do you need to go back to the big game draft to, Joey? Going back to the big game is going to be both on what we have on this roster and coaching. Like, the coaching was the problem last year. Obviously, we had the players defensively last year. I don't care if our linebackers couldn't cover. Like, you make adjustments. You create ways to get pressure on quarterbacks, and couldn't get it done. You shit the bed in the second half. That's what you did. That's all I could really say, man. Like, to get to the big game, like, they could definitely do offensively. They could do it. I think the offense is going to be really good next year. Defensively, it's going to be up to this defensive coordinator and what players he ends up getting. Howie Roseman's going to build this roster again, but this defensive coordinator, it's really going to be, he's going to designate where this defense, where this team goes, probably. You know what I mean? Like, if you got an offense that's scoring points nonstop, but your defense is literally getting scored on every single drive, like, that's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. you're stepping on a team's neck. And you don't keep your foot there. You're just going to let them breathe back, breathe life back into the game. I hated that. And people were telling me, oh, that's how it's going to go. People were, a lot, I don't care. Like, look, I don't hate Gannon as a person. I don't hate Gannon as a coach. I just didn't like his philosophy. I didn't like it all year. When we were 4-0, 5-0, 6-0, 7-0, I was still complaining about Gannon every single week because I was like, I'm waiting for that game where we're going to crumble. And unfortunately, we crumbled at the worst time possible. And that's what really pissed me off. Really pissed me off. Jason, would you rather draft Carter or Anderson? I would draft Carter, to be honest. I would really draft. I think between having Sweat, Reddick, and hopefully Graham will be back. I got a good feeling Graham will be back for like a 2-year deal or something and make that the last contract of his career. He wants to stay here for another 2 years. I think they draft Carter. I think you got to pair Jordan Davis up with somebody like badly. You know what I mean? Because you already got the defensive ends to kind of do it. I think you got to add another defensive end regardless in the later rounds. There's a lot of defensive ends that are, freakish athletes coming from this draft. But I think you got to match somebody up with Jordan Davis. If you don't match up a good defensive tackle with Jordan Davis, we're going to get no pressure up the middle at all. Nothing whatsoever. So, and if Jordan Davis gets that one-on-one, good. You know what I mean? It's a great thing. Chris says, no way Porter will be there in the third. Gentleman coach said, what's your opinion on our new coordinators? You think both is an upgrade? Yeah, I do. I like Brian Johnson a lot. I do. I think he's going to expand the playbook a lot more for Jalen Hurts. I think he knows how to use him very well. Worked with Steichen all year. I think he's going to be fine. I honestly think Brian Johnson's going to do a really good job. Sean Desai has had a good defense in 21 for the Bears with little to no talent, still had a top 10 defense with that Bears defense, and they barely even had talent. And then 2020, for the few years he was he was an apprentice coach as a quality control coach for the defense for the Bears under Fangio as well. So you got a coach that's got a good resume right now. A good defensive coordinator has a good resume. So I don't think we've seen a press conference yet, but hopefully we get to hear from him soon. But I've seen some mic'd up moments from him, and he seems very energetic, and he's very seems like a good coach. So we'll see. Cheese Grit says, I feel like where Michael Parsons away from a Super Bowl, trading both picks to land Carter would be so nice. Rome says a grabby corner doesn't trust his speed or technique. We don't need that. That's somewhat true. Oh, when you feel like you're getting beat on a first step, or you feel like something bad's going to happen in the motion of the play going on, that's where corners usually do that. So. Flying High says they wanted Mahomes as a face of the NFL. They hate the Eagles, trying to keep us from going forward. It is what it is, bro. I'm probably will not be over that. I'll remember that game for the rest of my life, and I'll always hate the way that went down. So tough pick, Jason. I go Anderson. Cause rush passing most important. And trust me, if they drafted Will Anderson, I wouldn't even care. But the middle pass rush is where it's going to be important too. Because like I said, you still have Reddick here for another 2 seasons. Sweat's still here. Graham as well. I mean, Graham could re-sign. I think Graham is most likely to re-sign. So if you're able to get Jalen Carter, it'd be great. It'd be fantastic. Obviously, if the Eagles draft him, there's going to be a lot of questions about his, off the field issues, and it's going to be like a lot of. It's going to be a lot of focus on that more than him playing football. That's what's going to happen. Blanchett took over in the Dallas game. He struggled. Yeah, I mean, he struggled, but from a sample size, what we've gotten from Blanchett, I thought he played really good. I think he's an A-plus tackler. His coverage isn't fantastic, but, I mean, he makes really good tackles. His lateral speed's really good. He's got good vision, I think he's good. I think he's fine. I think from what we've gotten from Reed Blankenship, I think he's played fine. But that was his first year. You know what I mean? Just to go in, get thrown into the fire like that. I think he played pretty well for what as an undrafted free agent. I mean, I can't complain about that at all. We got a super chat from Broderick Force. Thank you so much, man. He says, check out Undisputed on how Shannon felt about Chauncey Gardner-Johnson's tweet. I got to check that out. See, what happened with all that. Not sure, but I don't even really care about it, to be honest. I don't even care. Like that's just what's going on. Let's see. Okay, Andrew Nate says we have the vets and coach that can help Jalen Carter stay out of trouble. And I think definitely this is one of the best organizations, and where they're not going to put him in like timeout, so to speak. Like they're not going to control him. Like they're going to let his attitude and let him be himself. And I think that's what the Eagles like to do with their players. They like these players to be themselves. They're not trying to, put a restriction on them and the outside noise and the great teammates that are around. I think he'll definitely be out of trouble. So I'm not really worried about that too much with Jalen Carter, with any team he really goes on. But if he's with the Eagles, I think he'll be perfectly fine. Not really worried about it. So, but yeah, it's going to be a crazy, we have one more day of the combine after today. So we'll have more videos out today. Like I said, if you guys haven't joined the memberships, definitely join the memberships in the pinned comment. I do draft highlight reactions that obviously get copyright claims. So I'm afraid to put them like as public videos on here. So I have those in the memberships. We just go over pretty much every prospect that I think the Eagles will take, and we watch tape and we just like we'll rewind and we'll look at certain things. So definitely check all those things out. If you guys haven't, definitely become a member. If you guys haven't, subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't either. We'll have more news in the coming days. We'll have more videos, and we're figuring out another Shakedown podcast this week. We'll probably have one most likely tomorrow, I would have to say, maybe. So we're kind of a little behind because of our scheduling. So, but yeah, other than that, that's it. I think we're going to end it here, and we'll be ready to go. We'll be ready to go. So we've already been streaming almost 2 hours, but if you want, we can go another few minutes. I can go another few minutes if you want. I was gonna get off now, but I could hit another 5-6 minutes if you want, and we'll do some more questions. Definitely. Yeah, Jack Campbell is another one too. If we're gonna make a move, and like I said, if we're gonna make somewhat of a move, I think we're gonna be in good position. I think what we gotta do is the next couple weeks are gonna be very intriguing, because of where the Eagles are with draft capital, what the Eagles do in free agency is going to be really important, of where we're going to kind of see like where we have holes, and maybe we'll find out. So, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, for free agency we're going to start it probably next week. So starting Monday of next week, we're going to do my road to free agency, the road to free agency live streams every day. We'll be doing those every single day. And we'll just be on here streaming online. We'll just be, looking at Twitter and just seeing all the rumors about stuff going on. And that's what we'll kind of do for a good week and a half. I did streams like 2 weeks straight for a while. We did streams for a bit. So, should be interesting. So, like I said, you have a lot of free agents on your defense. 11 free agents if no one gets obviously re-signed, which is really nuts. So we'll definitely check and we'll look into that. But other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. We'll leave it at that. Keaton Griswold, would you trade for Ramsey if he's available? 30 for Ramsey? Oh, hell no. No way. No, I would never, ever, never, ever trade a first-round pick for Jalen Ramsey. I would not. Anyone else wants to do that, I am fine. I would never touch that. No way. So, all right, you guys have a fantastic day. We'll have videos out. We'll be ready to go. We'll have more membership videos as well. Definitely be a lot to talk about. We'll probably have 2 videos out because I want to kind of make some stuff separate today. So I appreciate everybody joining the stream today on obviously the dead side of football. A lot of people aren't really online doing stuff. So I appreciate everybody that's been supporting the videos. And, I haven't live streamed like this in a bit, but we're going to be live streaming a lot more one-on-one because of free agency and stuff like that coming up. So watch out for those streams. Like and subscribe to the video. Thank you so much. Check out the memberships for the extra content as well. And I'll see you guys on the next one. SHAKESQUAD up, follow slide. Peace out, guys. Peace. Enjoy your day.